Episode 373 of the Thicc Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, levity. It is a beautiful, snowy Sunday morning as I'm recording. I'm Jeremy, joined as always by my son, Manny. Good morning, young man.
Good morning. Get to talk to you 2 days in a row. It's snowing out. I haven't even left my house. It's early. Jeremy has me up at the butt crack of dawn to record this episode. I appreciate it. Anything for Pops. So welcome to
You know what? Yeah, I told the young boy he got a boot in his ass and said, you know what, son? If we're gonna take over the world and be the best damn sports card pod where people have their hobby release, you're gonna have to get up. It's gonna be long hours of hard work, manual labor, and we're gonna get the job done. So I dragged his ass out of bed, gave him a little Major Payne style, and here we are.
He read me that train book, got me all excited. Now I got some energy.
Yeah, read a train book, not watched a video about a train. Two different things. One is something that's wholesome and good and dear to me. One is a lifestyle that Manny possibly participates in.
Never me. So, Jeremy, I told you, I said it's the second day I get to see you, right? We went to a card show yesterday. My first one of the year. Your 10th already. We're in January. But we went to Troy, the Troy card show. I don't know what they call it, but it was in Troy, Michigan.
Yep.
And,
so we linked up yesterday. Manny made the trek out. It was about an hour and a half or so east of where you live, about 45 minutes south of me. And it's a routine show. I think it's twice a month. And then the owner or the person who puts on the show does another one in Taylor, which is downriver. And so we decided, because of some family commitments that I had, to link up at the Troy show. And we ended up spending a good 5-6 hours together yesterday at the show.
We did. It was when I got there, I was like, there was no parking in the parking lot. I was like, you know, when people say the hobby's alive, and I was like, what is going on? I can't find a fucking parking spot for like 15 minutes. Called Jeremy, panicking. I'm like, there's no spots. What are we gonna do? I get in there, and on the stage, there's this big, roided out, older guy. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, that's Jose Canseco. So Jose Canseco was doing autographs. So there was a shit ton of people there trying to get some autographs. So it's kind of unique to see the things that people wanted autographed. I saw a couple pictures of, him taking roids, ball hitting his head and going over the home run, him getting knocked out in Barstool, the ring of whatever they call it. So it was crazy. I wouldn't do that with that guy. That dude's buff. So I don't know. Very packed.
So can I make a confession before we jump into the show?
Because
I feel like I can't. I can't live this lie anymore. No, I'm like super against that too. By the way, I don't care that other people do it, but it's not something that's ever interested me. It just doesn't seem like it would be real. And again, I'm not knocking anybody else who does that or is on the trend train. Just not my cup of tea. But something I want to admit, and I'm probably going to lose my man card and whatever. I don't give a shit. But I know nothing about Barstool. I've never consumed Barstool stuff. And I realize as I go out and I'm with large groups of dudes, whether it's for a work function or at Topgolf or something like this, everybody references Barstool. And I quickly realized I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So I heard about this Barstool thing 50 times yesterday, and I just smiled and shook my head. Yeah, like, oh, yeah. I have no idea what the hell it is. I know nothing about Barstool. Isn't it like Dave Portnoy eats pizza, and then there like
there you go,
the punter Pat McAfee, the WWE guy?
Pat McAfee, he used to be on it. He used to, and then he's not on it anymore.
Okay, so I know nothing about Barstool.
It's ESPN with a little bit of more podcast, but it started off as like ESPN but uncensored. They could say whatever they want. Okay. And that's how they got. But they do this thing called Rough and Rowdy, where it's basically like, you ever in Michigan, it started in Michigan Ring of Honor, where you got Butterbean. Do you remember Butterbean?
The boxer, the king of the 4-rounder?
Yes, so that's Rough and Rowdy's kind of like that, and Jose Canseco fought someone that was one of their employees and got knocked out by their employee.
Okay. And isn't Ring of Honor a long-standing wrestling promotion that used to be like, isn't it owned by AEW? AEW's owner, Tony Khan?
Maybe I said it wrong, Ring of Honor. I watched AEW a couple days ago, so that's probably where I got it. But
Okay.
Butterbean definitely was one of the fighters on that show.
Yeah, so no, I just want to throw that. I know nothing about Barstool. It's not something I consume. I often hear people reference it. Where I work, I'm in a group chat with like a lot of the project managers. They reference it all the time, and I don't participate in group chats anyway, just because I'm a special kind of asshole like that.
Yeah, you are.
But I saw that, and I was just like, yeah, I got no idea what the hell anybody's talking about. So anyway, I digress. Jose Canseco is there. Foot traffic is absolutely bananas. I've been to that show many a time, and to see the foot traffic was absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it was insane. I went on Father's Day. That was my first time going last year, and half the tables were gone because it was on a Sunday. So this is a 3-day show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No one was there. I was like, "This looks depressing as a show. There's no one here." But then this time I was like, "Holy cow, there's no parking." And you were kind of shocked when I said that. You're like, "Wait, no parking? That makes no sense." But so I was talking to a dealer, and he actually frowned upon having big signings at card shows. And I was kind of wanted your opinion because it didn't make sense to me because in my eyes it brings traffic to the card show, but he said it brings the wrong traffic. So I don't know if you have any explanation about that.
I always think that if I'm a dealer, I want more foot traffic, and I'm going to hope that the law of average brings out a couple more people willing to spend a couple of dollars at my table. However, if you get the group of people that are there just for the auto and they're taking up space, and I don't mean that like in a bad way, but they're taking up space for you and I to be walking around with our Zion cases, I'm not a huge fan of that. As you saw yesterday, I navigated that room 1,000 times over, and because of all the people just standing around or shooting the breeze or, just chatting about Jose Canseco or reliving the days of being alive in 1927, it's a smidge on the frustrating side. You know what
I
I
know
mean?
I know exactly what you mean because when I got there probably like 20 minutes before you, and I just found trees and went to behind the table because there's so many people. I was in the thick of it, and there's so many people that smell like ass cheeks and juice, the wrong juice, if you know what I mean. And so I was just standing there with trees waiting for you because I couldn't navigate. The aisles were so small, and if you have two people looking at a table, you can't even get through. And I was like, nope, claustrophobic. I'm going right to trees.
Yeah, this is a pretty big. What do you think? Maybe 80 to 100 tables?
Not yeah, 80 to 100. I talked to someone. They said around 95.
Okay. Yeah, so to me, I like the foot traffic, and I know it's a way like, hey, I'm thinking about going to this card show. I'm not sure. Getting an autograph or having a celebrity athlete might be the thing that pushes you over the edge because you could see him. He was right up on stage, so you could go to the back end of the room and look and see him. So I understand, but I also think a lot of these dealers, and we've been very consistent about this, you're not going to sell a lot when everybody has a cell phone and they can see what cards are selling for elsewhere or what they can hit a buy it now, whether it's on any of these marketplaces, fixed marketplace, eBay, and anything,
Mhm.
and you're 2 to 3 times that price. I just don't understand what the thought process is there.
Yeah, there was a ton of dealers that were stingy. I told you about the story. I didn't tell it. So I went up to a dealer and there's this Jason Tatum Prism auto rookie year, and he had it stickered at 1250. I looked at Card Ladder, and last sale was $900 for a PSA 9. And I was like, "Do you have?" I try to act nice about it because it's way different. It's like 300, 400, $300 off. And I was like, "Do you have any wiggle room on this? Here's the last comp." And right when I said, "Here's the last comp," he's like, "That 900?" He's like, "Go find another one. Go find another one. That's why it's 1250. If you can't find another one, you could pay this price." He's like, I'm not sweating $900. And I was just like, as he's mid talking to me, I just walked away. I was like, I'm not looking at any of your other cards either. Because I just got a bad first impression. And I don't like when dealers try to like, you know, throw their testosterone at me about like, don't find another card like this. I'm like, dude, it's a PSA 9. It's not even a 10. How about that?
Yeah, and you know the crazy thing is Manny is one of the most kind,
I know.
reserved, thoughtful, sweet people. And so like even in his interaction, it's not at all like rude or like, being dismissive of what the dealer said. It's just like very friendly. It's a conversation. And so that same dealer, he had a Jalen Green downtown PSA 10, I believe Pop 1, and he was just too cool for school.
Yeah, he thought
Too cool for school. He had, PSA 10 of college draft picks. And I tried talking to him. And I'm the same way. And I'm not here to bash anybody. But I'm a big believer in treating people with just with respect and kindness, because you never know. Like, you had enough firepower in your Zion case that you could have gotten anything done.
Mhm.
I had enough firepower in my Zion case that I could have gotten anything done. And to your point, when I deal with somebody like that, and that's the way that they're going to treat me and or somebody else, all of a sudden they're excluded. That's one table I don't even have to worry about.
Exactly. And it sucked because he did have some nice cards. It's just like all your cards are way overpriced. He had so I was gonna try to package. So he had a Giannis, blue and or red. What is it? Blue and red and blue, white, whatever that card is. Rookie year mosaic.
Red, white, and blue. Jesus.
It's early. Red, white, and blue.
Jeez.
USA Prism, and they were like around 1,000. And he had a comp at 1250. He literally, I asked how much was it. Literally flips the card over. It's 1250. He's like, oh, that's 1,400. Takes the sticker off, puts 1,400, puts it back. And I was like, what is going? Do you even comp your cards? I'm out.
So I learned something. I was listening to the Sold Too Early podcast with Dave from Extraordinary Cards. And one thing, he's got an incredible page. His Instagram page, he's got like maybe 26, 27,000 followers, is he lets people trade up into bigger cards. He trades down into smaller cards. And he used to put a price on there, but his theory, or the way he operates, is he no longer prices anything, because if you start at comp or below comp, it doesn't matter. 99% of the time, the people you're dealing with are going to try to negotiate down. So he just doesn't do it, and or he starts slightly above. So we always used to price 15% right off the jump. Like, so if a card was selling on eBay for 100, if it was at my showcase, $85.
Yeah.
But if everybody's going to haggle anyway, I understand being around comps or I get the theory behind that. Now, where I will say with Mr. Dealer, and let's talk about the Tatum, for instance. It's not a pop 5 card. It's not a pop 1. It's not a 1 of 1. It's not a card that's scarce and or rare. And so to just use that is kind of like a shitty thing. Now, I understand if like they take the time to be like, hey, so here's the deal. I've done a search. There's not, because I've had cards that are like that. I had that white prism Tatum that we bought earlier this year, that I bought earlier this year when I was with you. And I put it up, and I got one of those like really, really scathing messages on eBay. I had it up for, I don't know, let's just say $1,000, our best offer. And instead of making an offer, the guy's like, this is overpriced. You're a piece of shit. I hope your family died. Like one of those kinds of messages. And so like I took the time, I typed him back an essay, and then he responded like with something like, oh, okay, I understand. Thank you. Yeah. But he came out scathing, and I was just like, look, I've searched everywhere. I cannot find any of these. It's pop, whatever. It was like in the single digits. I think my suspicion is a lot of people are holding this card. I don't like Tatum. I just got it. I'm just, looking to pass it on. So it's just, people are goofy. But I think the important thing that I saw yesterday is, despite people being overcomps, which I think is going to happen at any show, right? There's just people, it's their money, however they want to navigate. That's on them. But I think the hobby is alive and well. And I
Mhm.
think being at shows truly gives you a better idea of the climate than what you see on social media.
I 100% agree. When you go to social media, it's like everyone's the wall's burning, the house is going down, the village is going down. But when that's because in social media, can I say just social media highlights people's success. And when there's not a ton of easy success for people, they don't know what to do. So they just shit on people. But if you actually go to card shows, it's like I've been building more relationships now than I have ever built relationships. And I do want to for that dickhead um for that dickhead seller. Look at this. Hey asshole, I could go and make an offer on this. Fast break auto. Yes, it's fast break. But guess what? You said I can't find one. Look at that. Oh, here's one I can make an offer on too. So yeah, like you said, not even hard to find.
You gotta let that stuff go, man. It's just in one ear, like that. That's why I'm like I try to talk with people because real quick you get an idea.
Of how they
Okay,
are.
who I. That's why I very rarely make a deal right away is because I want to see who I'm going to operate with. And I would. Here's the thing. Do you remember at National? And what's funny is because when me and Court got the Jordan and then we sold like the Lou Bob and the Herbert Auto, the
Mhm.
guy that we sold it to, who was a Chicago dealer, had a very similar name to the people you were selling to.
Oh, really? I didn't really.
Very like it was like underscore and like a hyphen difference.
Mhm.
I want to say it was like ABC or something like that. I don't remember. Forgive me, guys and gals listening, but I went back the next morning,
Oh, you're talking
and
about
I
Tim. Okay, yeah.
and I sold cards to the guy who was buying from you. Because if you remember, there was one card. He's like, "Hey, man, you're better off holding this. You're going to make more money." He talked you through it, and it was, other than dealing with me, the most painless experience I've ever seen for somebody buying and selling cards. But point being, I was willing to sacrifice a couple of bucks to just go deal with somebody who was going to treat me the way I wanted to be treated.
Exactly. Like he was straight up like, okay, I'm going off the last two couple comps, and we're going 80%. I'm like, if you have a system, I agree with you. And that's why when you go back to like comping cards at shows, I like the dealers that comp at comps because then you could just be like, okay, I'm buying at what do you sometimes if you're trying to make money or you're a dealer, you could say, are these comped out and what do you have wiggle room for? And are you willing to go 80% on some of this stuff? What are you willing to go 80% on? And so a lot of the dealers will be like, I don't want to hear these stuff right here. And then you make an easy deal.
I think sometimes too people miss out on good deals because they're too reliant upon their phone telling them a number and trying to play the math game.
Hmm.
There's certain cards, if you believe in the card, just get me close to where I feel comfortable coming out of pocket and I'll pay it. And also selling, I'm not going to let a deal fall apart over a couple of bucks, man. It's not like, hey, this 52 Mantle is a $1.2 million card, but you're offering me 300,000. I'm not talking like that. But I'm
Yeah,
talking if like you're at like, you know, $50 and I want 60. All right, if you're not going to meet me at 55, let's just do 50 and get the deal done and move on.
yeah, I agree. And I need to learn that because I could have sold my Josh Allen for it would have been $100 cheaper, which I probably um should have at the time, but we're gonna get it sold. There's a lot of people. The cards I'm starting to realize the cards that I have. I'm kind of in Trees' boat. Me and him were talking about it. Um, we have stuff that's kind of harder to find, and when people see the cards, they're like, "Oh, that's pretty sweet," but then they're not willing to like buy them because they're harder to sell to people. Um, you get cards that are easier to sell and you keep flipping for more stuff that's kind of easier to sell. And then you grab your P Wills that are, the rare stuff. I've noticed that. Um, and I made the mistake of getting all these higher end cards that I can't sell now.
So one thing I don't. So I've got a couple thoughts. One, I don't necessarily think I'm buying cards that are more liquid because we've made a point to try to buy stuff that's more short printed, lower pop. Oh, and then something that also gives us a little bit of ability where if it's really hard to come by comps or there are no comps, I know what I paid for and I'm in the driver's seat. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I can let it go. I'm also not playing that. We're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars. Like I bought a Nikola Vucevic gold out of 10 immaculate patch auto.
Mhm.
Beautiful card, game use patch. I bought it for like $20 on PWCC
But
out of
there,
Chicago and offered me $70. There's no comps.
yeah,
I accepted right away. This person, I'm sure, feels like they got a deal because I probably had it posted at like, 150, $200. And so I like to play that game now where I was going to go. And I've got a question slash comment.
oh boy,
I had a Martinelli out of 10, SGC 9. Beautiful card, thick stock, looks really good, great centering. Just some of the wear that comes with a thick stock card. I had this card up on eBay for, let's just say, 2 months. Promoted the posting, everything. Had it listed at like maybe, I don't know, $400 or $500. Buy it now. 2 views.
yeah,
And I was into the card so cheap that I'm like, you know what? Time to let this thing go. Time to go in a new home. I put it up for auction. And within like an hour of it being up for auction, it already had like 10 views. And now it's going to end tonight, Sunday night, probably before this episode drops. It's already got over 40 viewers. And it's already above the number that I would have accepted had somebody made me an offer. So I'm not quite sure if there's like an eBay algorithm, but I'm not sure how that works. And so I think sometimes we get discouraged because and that's not the first time that that's happened. We get discouraged because we put a card up, buy it now, and then we don't get the offer. But then the moment you put it on auction, all of a sudden it's all the eyeballs in the world. What's
yeah.
up with that?
So I think with hear me out. I think with the times, people are always trying to get deals now, right? And if you think about it, eBay auctions is kind of where you get your deals that can be made, right? Sometimes with buy it nows, people are kind of stubborn and won't like move down in price, even if you do a best offer. Um, so I think a lot of people might have on their search bars auction type. You know how they do end its soonest instead of buy it now. So I'm curious if that's the way because it's even haunted me. The guy, that dealer was looking at my Josh Allen. He's like, I like it. You've had a couple watchers at a buy it now price. And I'm like, I don't know if it's getting the eyeballs it looks because when I show the card, everyone's like, yeah, this is sick. Oh, this is out of 50. It's a rookie. And you put it on eBay, it's a couple eyeballs. So maybe I just need to do auctions. Let it ride.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm noticing that because I put a bunch of cards that I had up for sale. You know, expecting, and I tried the TNT route. So we had TNT on Hobby Night School a few months ago, and I was talking about I don't send out offers. Never have. To me, excuse me, my thought process is like that makes me scream desperate.
Yep.
I'm not doing it. Their theory was we send out offers early and often because it shows that we're motivated to sell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So now I've just been sending out offers, and I think I've moved. I don't know. I don't know. Say if it's needle moving, but I've seen a little bit of a difference
Yeah.
because the moment I determine it's for sale, it needs to move. It needs to
Yes.
move. There's no sitting on it, and so I really think that there might be something to it. I suppose with technology, anything's possible. There is some sort of algorithm or something like that. Because I tell you, even the TGC, I put up for auction, man. That stuff, people were all over. I put up for buy it now, and it was like nothing. And I was like, I kind of expected there to be a
Opposite.
lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I saw how many people were following Bro Namath's TCG cards. So I'm just curious if anybody knows anything about how eBay works. Drop a comment, let us know. I would love to know, but I just see the moment you put it up for auction, you get a hell of a lot more eyeballs than just letting it sit in your store with a buy it now.
Yeah. Well, one of your cards that's up for auction right now is your Justin Fields that came back. How exciting!
Well, it's just I just throw it up just to provide visibility to the card. It's
Yeah.
not at auction. It's just I put it
Oh,
up.
it's not okay.
No,
I
I put
must
it
have.
up for like buy it now. Well, just because everything's branded really nicely, reckless cards. That if somebody sees it, they're able to reach out and kind of see some of the other stuff that might not be available
Mm-hmm.
through eBay. And it was also one of those things like I was one of the first people to get my Fields redemption back, so try to be first to market. Maybe get an overzealous buyer who's willing to spend a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, I'm excited to get that back. I got the email from Panini that something was being shipped. I had a pretty good idea it was Justin Fields, and sure enough, it came.
Man, that's awesome. At the show, because we kind of split. Were you seeing a trend of what people were buying, sport wise, or what people were looking for? Because I actually have someone that I heard nonstop at the show, and I want to see if you heard the same. Fucking Brock Purdy. Everyone was asking for Brock Purdy at the
Okay,
show.
so slow down. So Purdy and Senguin.
Sanguine.
Yeah, I might be saying his name wrong. The center for the Rockets.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, people
Okay,
were asking for him. I didn't hear him,
yeah.
but I heard Purdy everywhere.
So before we move into that, I want to talk about the redemption thing.
Oh, okay.
So, I bitched and complained for 6 months. And I know when I say this, there's all the people out there that have redemptions that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years outstanding and or never received it or got Panini points. We've all been there where we get the shitty 250 Panini points.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be very mindful of that and to let you know that I'm very fortunate, blessed, yada, 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 to get my card. But I was scrolling Twitter the other day, and shout out to Reckless Cards Twitter. I'm almost up to 1,700.
There you go.
And that has been an absolute grind. I'm not like Courtney where I could just put on a TikTok and be a creative genius that she is and then just jump to like 4,000 or do the stuff that she does with the Insta. It has been an absolute fucking grind to get to 1,700. You don't know how many coffee pictures that's been. But I saw something and I asked you, can you pull it up on your screen since you're the
Yep.
technical guy and just read through it? But it sounds like for low end redemption, Panini is going to start offering some sort of like, I don't want to say mystery pack, but here, I'll let you read it.
Okay. So on Wednesday, it's launching NFL Mosaic Sparkle Redemption Packs to replace low and mid tier players for NFL redemptions. Customers with these outstanding redemptions don't have to do a thing. Panini says its customer service will start ship packs out later this week, so they probably already shipped them. If they did it later this week, using the address on file inside the pack, there's 2 cards, 2 limited edition red sparkle parallels, and 1 short print, so 3 total cards. It looks like some of the short prints and super short prints have like last year's rookie. So Brock Purdy, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, my guy Kenneth Walker. But yeah, so it looks like they're just trying to. It seems like they're trying to cut down on the redemptions because they're probably too outstanding. So they're like, let's just give out white sparkle packs. And me and Jeremy are on different views. I think this is dumb. Jeremy thinks it's a good idea.
Okay, so I think it's a good idea in the sense that if I were to spend an astronomical amount of money for wax, and one of my hits was a low to mid tier player, I'd rather get one of these packs and hope that I could get, I guess for this, the chase would be Purdy and then Pickett, right?
Yeah.
So the thought process is like if it's like a shitty offensive lineman or something, I would rather get that. Now, where I think it becomes interesting is like what happens if you have, for instance, you had a Fernando Tatis unlicensed auto that they deem that being mid-tier, and you're a baseball guy, and all of a sudden you get a shitty pack of Mosaic Blue Sparkle football cards. I could see if that's not your sport, I could see that being frustrated. But when you're talking low tier, to me, I think I would rather have. I think personally, I would rather have. And it's also like we should probably run a poll and see because you're the opposite, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't like it because when they give you these packs, they need to redeem them. Like if you're gonna pull, like let's say I pulled, like I know you said that Fernando Tatis, we had that in 2020, the peak of the market. Then they deemed it when they wanted to fulfill it as a low end because he got caught with steroids. Well, no, I sent that in 2020. I expect 2020 value, and now they're going to just deem mid. What's a mid tier? Let's say last year. Who's last year's class?
Well,
You got
that's why it's bullshit because it's vague. It doesn't give you
yeah,
any specific. It's not like, hey, mid tier is going to be defined by X value based on comps on eBay where you can understand where it is. It
yeah,
allows them to be shitty if they choose to be.
and they're going to be $500 was what's the cost of these sparkle packs? Someone's going to get a say they're going to have like a Tua or Justin Fields auto. Say that yours didn't get redeemed, and you end up with this sparkle pack, and you're a Bears fan, and you pull, let's say, um, Christian Watson or George Pickens is good, but like Isaiah Spiller, you're gonna be pissed off. You're gonna be like, I want my Justin Fields. Like, I rather wait more to get my auto. Don't send me these sparkle packs. And like it says in the thing, you don't have to do anything. They're redeeming them and sending it without even giving you a consent. They're just being like, well, here's your sparkle pack.
Yeah, I do think the moment. So, first off, I think we're in agreement that redemptions are bullshit. Now, on the extreme circumstance, I think I understand that there is incredible logistics and coordination to get cards to players all across the country or even globe and get them back in time for release. However, I do think that as operators of a business, nothing is stopping them from saying, hey, we need to plan better.
Yep.
We need to maybe cut down on the amount of redemptions. And when a player athlete makes a commitment to this, they hold to it. And if they don't, I don't want to say like a penalty, because if you attack a player, their agent's going to defend them. And all of a sudden, anybody that's underneath that agent is going to be damn near impossible to get to sign. But instead of being open and just being like, yeah, we're going to be lazy and we'll do 100 redemptions and whenever we get them, we get them. Maybe we just do like 10. And instead of doing 1,000 cards, we just, we have a representative fly there, get the 100 cards, only do like 100 cards, a smaller amount, and get it back. And the kicker is, back when products were coming out on time or in the same year, it would be a little bit easier to digest that, hey, man, they're turning around and Prism's coming out right away and the guys are in the middle of a season and it takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit easier to stomach. This, you're damn near a year behind your release. And the redemptions they're garbage, man. They're garbage.
These sparkle packs are literally Mosaic, which is a lower tier product. People do not like Mosaic like they did in 2019. So you're giving a lower tier product of a rookie that people. I don't think the value is going to hold with these. Rather than, would you get your Justin Fields that they could deem as a mid tier auto? I'd be pissed.
So one other thing I want to talk about is here's the thing, man. The redemptions are shit, and until people stop buying the product, they're going to continue to do this.
Well, they're going to stop buying Panini soon.
They're not.
In 2015, when they lose their license, or 2025 when they lose their licensing to football and basketball.
No, but I'm saying right now we can bitch and complain about redemptions all we want. You see people go, and it's like, hey, you can have this Tom Brady autograph for $1,000, or you can have this mystery box that you might get a hit for $1,000, and people take whacks like almost all the time.
That's true.
One thing I want to see is like, so this is my redemption, okay, beautiful. And when these started coming the day of, I just looked on eBay and there was a couple other people who posted theirs, and a couple of them had the absolute worst autograph. It was like streaky, and the other thing that caught my eye is sometimes you can't control the autograph, but
he took care of
the corners and the edges in these cards were beat to shit, and I am so freaking lucky that mine is like, I don't want to say pristine,
Yeah.
but it's a thick stock card. But it's
Feel
pristine. And so I'm wondering, these people have been waiting a year for their card. This autograph is trash and the corner's bent as shit. Yeah, let's go ahead and send it out to somebody.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure he signs extra. That's where all the white box 101s come from.
Mm-hmm.
The least you can do is send somebody a quality card.
I would rather, and that's another thing. If they're going to redeem packet like at National, that was kind of the cool thing. You could kind of hold redemptions and then bring it up to National, get a white box or a black box. You can't even do that. They're not giving you the option. They're like, here's your pack. And I don't know. Justin Fields did take care of you. He knew that was going to the Chicago Bears. Yeah, he knew it.
Bears.
He's like, Bears family, I'll take care of you, boo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think I don't like it at all. You're paying like thousands of dollars for a
Okay, so no, I think the redemptions are trash, right?
No, this too, the sparkle mosaic.
Okay,
sparkle.
so let's say and this is going to be crappy because we're going to just pick on some poor athlete who is significantly better at their particular sport than you or I and has more money. So let's just say player X is a undrafted offensive lineman for whatever football product.
Yeah.
You're telling me that you would rather have that redemption filled with that player, let's just say mosaic, non-refractor, non-short print, non-serial numbered. You would rather have that sticker auto than getting one of these sparkle packs.
Yeah, but usually the redemptions are usually the higher tier players.
Not always.
Not all. Most of the time. That's the thing is like you.
This thing fucked up mine and Courtney's game because we've been buying low-end shitty redemptions of players I've never heard of that I can get for $3-4 in hopes to see if like we can put them into Panini right before National and parlay them into a white box.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering, like, damn, looks like I'm going to be getting me some sparkle packs.
That's the thing, though. It's like the 50% that has the low end, there's 50% that have higher end autos that are going to get screwed by this.
No, because this is low to mid tier. If it's high end.
Well, no. Their mid tier will probably be high tier.
Okay, so you're operating under the fact that you're basing this on the fact that Panini is going to screw somebody out of like Giannis auto. They're going to be like, oh, Giannis is mid tier.
Yeah. Well, considering it's not his rookie year, or that, and they're not giving you the option to take the sparkle pack or your redemption. They should give an option because they're just basically like, here's your sparkle pack. You have no other option.
Well, okay, so that is because sometimes when your initial, whatever it is, your 120 days, your 150 days expires, it gives you like, do you want the points? Do you want to wait? Or do you want a replacement card? Mm-hmm. So within the app, I've had that option pop up before.
Yep.
Based on this article, I don't think they're going to do that for the sparkle packs.
No, it literally says customers with these outstanding redemptions don't have to do a thing. Panini says its customer service will start shipping it out later this week. So they're not even like, they're just like, here's your pack. Happy.
But wouldn't it be a better use of money to not, if I'm Panini and I'm like, and to be clear, they're printing money. So from a business perspective, they're doing it to make money. So they're doing great. So they don't want my advice. But why waste the time and effort to get autographs of people who are not coveted or wanted?
Yeah.
You know?
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, I'm a Bulls fan. I remember watching Dickie Simpkins play, but you can't tell me outside of Dickie Simpkins' family that there's somebody out there that's like, man, you know what I would love is a basketball player from the 90s. How about a 2024 flawless Dickie Simpkins redemption? Don't even waste your time. Don't even waste the auto. Don't even waste the cardboard, man.
Yeah,
but that's just me. What the hell do I know?
I'm curious what other people would think on this situation because I'm more upset about not giving the option to your consumer. And first of all, it's mosaic sparkle packs. It's going to screw some of the people that have, higher end autos, player autos that probably aren't rookies, but like a second year. If it's around $500, they might consider that like a mid-tier. Trevor Lawrence. I'm just thinking bat football.
Can I make another confession?
What?
I don't like Mosaic.
I don't either.
I liked it when it was like a subset of Prism.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was some pretty, but like the actual Mosaic set, I really, 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 I don't know what it is about it either. I do not like it.
The base cards are shit. The silver, just the regular, those are dumpster fire. And you get your NBA debut on some of them that kind of screw up the rookies. I don't know. I don't like Mosaic. They should have done Prism, and maybe I would have been a little bit more happy if it was like a higher end product, because mid tier to them could be $1,000 worth of auto, and they're just gonna send it out, and you have no say on what, because they redeemed it for you. So it's just annoying.
It's goofy, dude. It is absolutely goofy.
Yeah.
So what's funny is like we were talking about Mosaic, and so one thing that I've made it a point is even though a card is awesome, even though, and to be clear, if it's an awesome card, I'll buy it. But with the intent to flip or to sell, I think people need to do a better job of understanding. Hold on, that sounds like I'm telling people what to do. I think there's certain brands and types of cards that people should avoid if you're playing the flip game, because they're just not coveted for whatever reason.
Obsidian.
No,
Yep.
I went to war a couple of weeks ago at PWCC for that 1-of-1 for Saka.
I'm glad you could
and
sell
you can't. What's that?
I said I'm glad you could reflip some Obsidian.
Well, okay, I'm tired of this Josh Allen, because I had it sold for you last week and you let a deal fall apart over $50.
Not 50. It was 100.
It was $50. No, I said I had it sold at 600, and you came back and you wanted 650.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's my fault.
Exactly.
I'm an idiot.
And then you had the opportunity to flip it yesterday into some stuff, and once again, you didn't do it. So
no. You said that was smart after we got off the table. You're like, yeah.
Afterwards, I didn't interrupt your deal. I'm just saying, if it was me,
you wouldn't have done it.
I wouldn't have done that one.
Exactly.
But I don't like. I'm a Cubs fan, so I don't like Miguel Cabrera, and Justin Verlander does absolutely nothing for me. So you have to understand where I'm coming from, and I don't know those markets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, there's certain brands, and I've been burned by this, so I'm probably a little more sensitive. Lubob, Black Atomic Refractor, on-card auto, numbered out of 10, Bowman Sterling. Beautiful card, jersey match. Everything about this card was fucking awesome, except that it was Bowman Sterling. And so I say all that because with Panini being a little bit late on their schedule, with things being a little bit behind,
a little,
a lot. People get excited and they're starved for product, right?
Yeah,
they're starved for new stuff. So the other day, we all see, and I'm bringing it back to your point about Brock Purdy. I see a Brock Purdy card go for a lot of money. A lot of money, dude. A lot of money. So, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So you see a Brock Purdy certified signatures mirror, black 1-of-1, did $22,500. Brock in college uniforms, $15K, $13K. Here's Brock raw.
Yeah.
$10,000. Somebody bought this at auction. The balls on this person. The testicular fortitude to spend $10,000 on a Brock Purdy. And I'm not shitting on Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy certified card. Turn around, grade it at 10/10s, and then turns around and sells it for $22,500. My man, look at the play. Look at this.
I cannot stand that. Like, what's going to happen next year when Trey Lance comes back?
Look at this thing. It went from $6K, right?
Yeah.
At auction. Somebody bought it, turned around, flipped it for 9,700, turned around and flipped for 22,500. I would love to know, this person right here, what in God's green earth are they thinking? And I am not hating. If they are a Brock Purdy super collector and they want this card, by all means, God bless them. But I'm going to switch tabs and I want to make sure I do this right. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Did it switch tabs?
Yes, you're on Brock Purdy and
Okay. Is
Luca.
Luca?
Yep.
Okay. So I was using, and shout out to Card Ladder for the friendly, user friendly interface. I was thinking, what all time are the biggest sales for Panini Certified? So obviously this captures certain words, but something that jumped out to me earlier, less than a year ago, Patrick Mahomes, who is an MVP, a perennial MVP candidate, has won a Super Bowl. His one of one BGS 9 10 autograph sold for $10,200. So Brock Purdy in a down market sold for more than 2x Patty Mahomes.
Well, you even got
Now,
Joe Burrow, right? Is Joe Burrow right under him?
look, that's a Nike swoosh. Look at, you've got Lamar. And again, I just used Panini Certified one of one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can manipulate the wording just to get it. But Brock Purdy is like top 5.
Dude.
Granted, the Certified one of one was sold 3 times. And for the life of me, if there was a million other products available, you wouldn't be buying the Certified.
Nope.
The minute NT drops, the minute Prism drops, the minute Optic drops, the minute Flawless drops, the minute Panini and One drops, of the 1-in-1s and the short print and the RPAs, all of a sudden, in my opinion, I think this card falls by the wayside. It's not even coveted.
Let's come back in like
And
6 months.
It looks like, unless these old tired eyes are broken, that's a sticker.
It is a sticker.
A sticker. So again, not hating. It could be like a super collector, but this might be the same thing as the $175,000 for a Mac Jones, and then all of a sudden things get wonky.
Well, no. It's worse. It's worse than a Mac Jones. They have Trey Lance. They literally have Trey Lance as their starter. Like once Trey Lance comes back, their number 2 pick, the one they are spending 30-some million on, will be the starter.
Well, and that's where the question is, because we hear this from a national broadcast view. Like, I don't follow the local stuff, so I understand. Like, I follow still a lot of Chicago local media, a lot of I listen to podcasts, listen to local radio, read a lot of local stuff. And so when I hear like the national narrative come in, I can pick through like, hey, that's bullshit, or that's lazy reporting. This is what's really going on.
Yep.
Everything I've heard, this is still Trey Lance's team.
Exactly.
And so, like, I get it. Like, if the guy just absolutely goes through the playoffs and is awesome, then obviously you have to consider. But
yeah.
Man, oh man, the money being flung around is crazy.
Do they not remember Nick Foles taking the Eagles to the Super Bowl? And I guess he's a rookie, so people are like, "Oh, Tom Brady," because he got drafted. He was the last pick. They're like, he could be the next Tom Brady. I'm like, you guys are out of control. Like I said, all I heard yesterday was Brock Purdy, and I'm not sure when he actually came. I think week 14 is when he started, and I want to show you this. Look at this. And people, I don't know if people are realizing this. Maybe because I'm a Cowboy fan, I'm trying to hype myself up for the game. Tampa Bay, trash. Seattle was their best team they've played. Washington, not a playoff team. Vegas, not a playoff team. Arizona, not a playoff team. That's the teams they've beat in the regular season that Brock Purdy start.
Well, go to week 1, though. Go to week 1.
Oh, yeah. Right here. Oh, they also lost to Denver. But that's with Trey Lance. Or no, Jimmy G. Oh, right here. Yeah, it does show. Okay, so Brock Purdy beat the Miami Dolphins. So I would give them that. But they also, people are not realizing when Brock Purdy came in, guess who else came? McCaffrey.
So I've got a couple of points. I do not want to dismiss being a quarterback in the NFL. There's plenty of teams that have been built to win, ready to win, and they just need a quarterback who manages the offense and doesn't turn the ball over.
Yep.
Think of like early Ravens with Ray Lewis, and they just needed Trent Dilfer to be a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
This 49ers team, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Purdy, is built to win.
Mm-hmm.
Staunch defense. Great offense. You've got a running back that you can hand the ball off to, or you can throw it to out of the backfield. Christian McCaffrey, one of the premier talents in the NFL at the running back position when healthy. You've got that safety release in the form of a tight end in George Kittle. Yep. You've got Debo that you can throw the ball to. And then what I think is also getting lost in all of this, in all of the hoopla, is Kyle Shanahan is arguably one of the greatest offensive minds in the game and does an absolute tremendous job calling plays and putting together a system of an offense. And that's not just me saying this. This is people around the NFL, and that's the reputation he has. So I say all that just to be mindful of the player, be mindful of the results and how they got there, because there's two different ways that you can look at something. I share this with my kids all the time. Mm-hmm. I'll draw the number 6 on a piece of paper, and they're sitting across from me. I'll put it down and I'll ask them what they see. And they go, "I see a number 6, Dad." And I'm like, "Well, I'm looking at a number 9. Am I wrong? No. Are you wrong? No. We're looking at the same thing."
You do that to Courtney.
Courtney, tell me to go fuck myself.
You're saying, "I see 6, you see 9. You ready?"
Here's the thing. I got to challenge Courtney. I got to come with the A game if I'm going to challenge Courtney.
That's funny. No, you forgot our Thicc boy. They also have Trent Williams, one of the best offensive tackles in the league. I had to shout him out. Sorry, he's a thick guy.
Yeah.
But
I guess that's a very long-winded way of saying, sometimes you gotta, you can, if you believe in the player, great, man. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe he goes on to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and it turns into $1 million card, and we're looking back like, man, we could have had that for $20K. My fear is the card brand itself, the sticker auto, and then the no assurance that he's going to be a starter moving forward, or that this is in fact them winning games. It's just, for me, for that kind of money, you need to show me a little more. Now, if you're playing with 7- and 8-figure bankrolls like the Manny Flores is the world, then you can go ahead and you can dabble in that.
No, my money is that he's a system quarterback, because Jimmy Garoppolo looked really good with them and led them to an NFC championship. And Trey Lance looked good when he was playing. I think it all comes down to the system. So just be wary. I know it's probably a 49er fan that's pretty hyped right now, that bought it. So, or an Iowa State guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's either way. That's shout out to you, man. If you're dropping 22.5 on a Brock Purdy card,
mm-hmm.
that's cool, man.
Yep.
Also, it's shout out too, because it's there's some people in this hobby that are like, let's say, front runners.
Yeah.
And I was talking with somebody at the show yesterday, and shout out to all the cool people, man. It was pretty awesome. On a side note, the amount of people who knew us, and then we didn't necessarily know well, you probably know them because you're better at that kind of stuff. I was like, "Oh man, we love the pod, man. We love Hobby Night School. Thanks for being here." Yeah. Like, I was with Steven. He's like, "Holy shit, you know everybody." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I don't know who these people are."
Yeah, so, exactly. I said, someone told me that they loved my float, or they noticed me because of my floating head on my Instagram. So that was pretty cool, I guess.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. And what we're just talking about that too is big ups to Dom Breaking Wax. He dropped his new episode of the Breaking Wax podcast. And he had Bro Namath on, and they were talking about like,
How you're a
damn,
child.
Brandon, you've been on a media blitz. And then Dom was like, he's like, man, I really like the Thicc boys.
Mhm.
And, big ups to them. Like, you can cook a filet mignon well done, Brandon and Dom, and
Yeah.
it can still be very tender and juicy. It just doesn't turn into beef jerky. So I would encourage you two fine gentlemen to, pound sand in your ass and eat some mayonnaise, boys.
Medium rare.
Yeah.
That's
Fucking
all you
taking
gotta
shots about my food. I'm particular, not just a typical Neanderthal man that just listens to Barstool and doesn't have a brain.
go. On that note, Jeremy texted out that he was going to be at the show, and people reached out and actually talked to Jeremy when he got to the show. So we'll be at Avery's show in Lansing this
Yep.
weekend. We'll be set up. So if you want to come say hi, come say hi. Jeremy might be focused on a deal, but I'll have some time to talk to you.
No, I'm actually looking forward to posting up at the table. It's going to be relaxed, not doing any of the dollar boxes, just going to bring like maybe 1 to 2 showcases worth of slabs and singles. Going to buy and, just represent Reckless and Too Thick. Simultaneously, while we're doing that, Courtney's going to be in Atlanta at Culture Collision. So if you're going to Culture Collision, let us know. You can link up. Courtney will buy drinks, and she's going to be, representing, growing the brand down there. And then, you can hear it first, but Court's got a little something that she's cooking in the form of a podcast that's coming soon that I'm really excited about. So
I am too. I can't.
So
wait to drop that.
we spent all this stuff. I do want to, before we jump up out of here, what did you buy this week, if anything?
I did buy something. Remember, I was telling you I get into the TCG world. Shout out Bro Namath, because I got some TCG cards, PSA 10s, My Hero. These are like the exclusive XSRs. They're the Japanese edition. I guess extremely rare. Bro Namath was just giving me the lowdown. And here comes Jeremy going to pull his wiener out and show me a black label.
No.
And I shout out to him too, because he's an awesome guy, and he just threw this one in one punch. BGS 10 card. So
Yeah, I bought a Gavi Renaissance PSA 10
yeah,
the other day. It just was so happened to be up in a story sale, and I'm like, take. And the person responded like, really? And I was like, did I do something wrong? This is weird. And they're like, we just didn't think anybody was going to buy it. So just a sweet card. I think the last Raw did $250. I bought the PSA 10 for $300.
there you go. I like it.
So that was like a pretty sweet. Now, just being, I have a little bit of cash, and I've just been very selective and mindful in what I'm buying. My focus has been baseball, but when you see a soccer like that, a soccer card like that pop up, it's a no-brainer, especially after what Barcelona did to Real Madrid with Gavi and Pedri playing so awesome. But yeah, a couple pickups from yesterday. Just the Jazz
That's
on
nice.
card out of 75.
You got
And
that from Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah, right. I actually ended up getting these in separate deals with him, the
I
Brian
like it.
Hayes. Yeah, just very mindful. And then I wish I would have spent more time on this earlier, but I think one thing that I want to share, and this may or may not be applicable to other people, but to me, is December comps for relatively liquid stuff, I kind of take with a grain of salt, because the last couple of years when we attempted to sell during December, cards went for way less than what they would have, earlier in Q4, Q3, and then Q1. I think there's a lot of people like to try to get liquid to have money for the holidays, or they're trying to recognize losses, or for whatever reason, it's just not a great time to sell. And so what I've seen for a lot of people selling cards now, if they're using comps from December, those comps are distorted. So that's where it makes sense to just be mindful of, hey, maybe there was a couple outliers that didn't make sense. This is truly a $500 card and not a $300 card. And I think that's what happened with the Gavi is on Christmas Day, stateside, an auction ended or something, and it went pretty low. But if you go back to, and it's like a pop 9 card. If you go back to like September, October, November, it was significantly up, but they were basing it off that one comp. You know what I mean? And then if you go and look for what's available now, buy it nows are like $700-800. So if you're selling out there, just be mindful of like when it's sold, and there might be a little bit of reasoning. You might have to do a little storytelling.
Mhm.
But if somebody believes in the card, you can justify it, you're going to be more inclined to get a better number.
I like it. I like it because that's actually perfect. Because December, everyone was trying to sell off, especially after the World Cup. So if you're into
Yeah.
soccer, you might get some deals on that aspect. And with that, I hope you enjoyed your hobby release. We have some big guests coming on for our Thursday episode, so be ready. And
Well,
with that,
dude, we're loaded. The amount of guests that we
I
have
know.
teed up is loaded. We're talking with everybody. We're talking with the who's who of the hobby, down to
Mhm.
like the average blue collar people like myself, to the white collar people like the Mannies of the world.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Enjoy, and we have our guests. Like, yeah, we got a couple months worth of guests, so I'm excited. Hopefully,
Big
you
time.
guys are too. And with that, talk to you
Hold
guys
on,
soon.
hold on. No, 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 no. Like, subscribe.
Oh,
You have to do that
okay.
whole spiel. You do it
Like,
better than me.
follow us on Thicc, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. If you're not watching us, watching our adorable faces by now, I shaved for you.
Mm.
Subscribe, hit that like button. Jeremy loves the numbers, so um, Jeremy posts me the fucking numbers every day, every 5 minutes. So he loves it. Make him happy, please, for me. He makes everyone else happy. Make him happy.
Kid, this 75 hard is working. I feel like I've already lost like 15 pounds in my face alone.
Yeah, there you go. You're looking chiseled. Um, there's a couple guys at the show that are like, man, Jeremy's looking good. I was like, geez, go grab you a taste then.
Mm,
So,
mm. Wait until they see me at Natty, kid.
all right,
Wait until
I
they see me
can't.
at Natty.
Have a good
That's
one,
your
everyone.
Sunday morning release, brother.
Enjoy your hobby release.